Hello, fabulous AP language students. This is Miss Henson here. Today we are going to study sentence pattern 3. Now, pattern 3 helps us learn a final way to use the colon. And we're going to use our colons in 3 different ways. First, to introduce a list. Notice that is not pattern 10. Most of you are familiar with that one. It's also used to introduce an appositive. That is pattern 10. That's our dramatic appositive. And our final use will be to introduce an explanatory clause. That's a complete sentence. Let's look at some examples. My mother loves one activity over all others, shopping. Notice how the colon introduces that appositive, that noun. And in this case, it's a single word, and it really draws emphasis to it. Or, my mother loves 3 things, shopping, shopping, and shopping. The colon introduces a list. But in this case, the drama really comes from repeating the word shopping. Or our final one, my mother has found a new favorite activity. She loves to shop at the pet store for cute outfits for her pet chihuahua, Pookie. Notice in this case, the drama comes from the colon, but that dramatic pause is telling your reader, listen up, I'm about to explain what I just said. Now, when to use pattern 3? Look at the examples together on page 18. Notice that if you cover up the colon, you will have a complete sentence on either side. So we have right here with Dracula. Now, Dracula had left his tomb to stalk the village streets in search of fresh blood. Could be a complete sentence. It's more effective, though, when we combine it using a colon because it drives home that single horrifying meaning. Unlike a semicolon, though, the first clause must clarify the first. Read through the rest of the examples on page 19 and identify how the second clause clarifies the first. Now, creating grade checkpoints and adding them to your index card is the key to using this pattern correctly. Read over the checkpoints on page 20. Now, as you read, pattern 1, the semicolon, is not to be confused with pattern 3, the colon. Both of those are used between complete sentences. Now the key is to identify what role the second clause in pattern 3 plays. Does it answer an implied question, provide an example, give further explanation? If so, your use of the colon is correct. If not, you need to use a semicolon. Let's look at some examples. And we're going to start by completing the exercises together. First, go to exercise 2 on page 21. The first clause asks for the second clause to further explain just why Japan is a genuine threat. Look at the example below. Is this sentence pattern 3? No, it doesn't merit a colon. The second clause does describe a threat, but not to American industries. Instead, the sentence should read like this. Now listen while I read it aloud. The products of Japan represent a genuine threat to many American industries. Japanese imports are driving down the cost of automobiles, computers, and clothing, 3 of the top American goods. Now let's look at another exercise, sentence number 3. As you can tell, this sentence asks for the clause following the colon to give an example. One way, not to clean out a radiator. Look at the example below. Is this sentence pattern 3? Yes, it does merit a colon. If you wanted to use a semicolon, you'd have to do something like this. At least I know one way not to clean out a radiator. I learned this lesson the hard way when I helped my cousin John with his truck. Now notice you have 2 closely related sentences, but you really don't know that one way not to clean out a radiator yet. Let's try one more exercise together. Sentence number 4. This sentence asks for the clause after the colon to answer an implied question. Why the bodybuilder left? Look at the sentence below. Is this an example of sentence pattern 3? Yes, it does merit a colon because the second clause answers the question, why did the bodybuilder leave? To use a semicolon, try something like this. Now finish the rest of the exercises and share your work with a partner. When you feel confident, create 5 original sentences of your own and notify me to check your best sentence. Once I have done so, feel free to complete your index card. Now the directions for what appears on the front and what appears in the back are contained on the next 2 slides. All right, thank you and good luck with sentence pattern 3.